Ever felt like you just don't fit in, but not in an angsty teenage way. More like you're operating on a completely different frequency from everyone else, perfectly content in your own world, while others are busy connecting. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that often gets misunderstood: schizoid personality disorder, or SP. What is SP? Imagine feeling a lifelong sense of detachment from others. It's not about being shy or anxious around people. It's a profound lack of desire for social relationships. People with SPD genuinely prefer being alone. They find more comfort and satisfaction in solitary activities, reading, gaming, hiking by themselves than in social gatherings. If this isn't just an occasional preference, it's a defining characteristic. They often appear emotionally cold or aloof. You could shower them with praise or hit them with harsh criticism, and their reaction might be a simple nod or a shrug. This isn't because they're rude, it's because external validation or condemnation just doesn't register with the same intensity it does for most people. They live in a world where the emotional volume is turned way down. So, where does something like SPD come from? The honest answer is, we don't know for sure. Like many personality disorders, it's believed to be a complex cocktail of genetics and environment. There's some evidence suggesting a genetic link to schizophrenia. If you have a close relative with schizophrenia, your risk for SPD might be slightly higher, but genes are only part of the story. Early childhood experiences play a crucial role. Imagine growing up in a home that's emotionally sterile. Maybe your caregivers were cold, neglectful, or just not very responsive to your emotional needs. When a child's early attempts to connect are met with indifference, they might learn to stop trying. They might retreat into their own inner world because it feels safer and more predictable. Then the confusing world of human emotions. This early pattern of emotional detachment can solidify over time and become a core part of their personality in adulthood. It's a coping mechanism that becomes a way of life. Now, let us talk about a question that comes up a lot. Can schizoid personality disorder be cured? This is a tricky question. When we talk about personality disorders, cure isn't really the right word. A personality disorder is a deeply ingrained pattern of thinking, feeling, and behaving. It's woven into the very fabric of who a person is. So, you can't just remove it like you would a tumor. However, and this is a big however, it is absolutely possible to manage the symptoms and significantly improve one's quality of life. The goal isn't to transform someone with SPD into a social butterfly. That would be unrealistic and probably unwelcome. The goal is to help them feel more comfortable and functional in a world that is heavily geared towards social interaction. It's about reducing the distress that can come from feeling so disconnected, even if they prefer solitude. So what does this management look like? A key component is therapy, but not just any kind of therapy. Long-term psychotherapy can be very helpful. A good therapist will understand that building trust will be a slow process. They won't push for deep emotional confessions right away. Instead, they'll create a safe, non-judgmental space where the individual can explore their thoughts and feelings at their own pace. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is another powerful tool. CBT helps people identify and challenge unhelpful thought patterns. For someone with SPD, this might involve examining their assumptions about social interactions. For example, they might automatically believe that all social events are pointless and draining. CBT can help them test that belief in a structured way. Maybe they could try attending a low-pressure event, like a book club or a movie screening, and see if it's as bad as they anticipate. One of the most practical and effective treatments is social skills training. This isn't about teaching someone how to be fake or perform. It's about giving them the tools to navigate social situations when they need to. This can include learning how to read social cues, make small talk, or express themselves more clearly. For someone with SPD, these skills don't come naturally. So learning them consciously can make necessary interactions, like at work or in a storm, much less stressful. It's like learning the grammar of a foreign language. It makes communication possible, even if you don't feel like a native speaker. Building relationships is another important aspect, but it has to be on their terms. Pushing for intense, emotionally intimate friendships is a recipe for failure. The key is to find low-pressure social connections. This could mean joining an online community centered around a hobby. where interactions are focused on a shared interest rather than personal disclosures. Or it could mean having one or two acquaintances you see occasionally for a specific activity, like playing chess or going for a walk. These relationships provide a sense of connection without the overwhelming demands of a typical friendship. It's also crucial for family and friends to understand. If you care about someone with SPD, you have to adjust your expectations. They may never become warm and effusive. They might not call you just to chat. But that doesn't mean they don't care, in their own way. Showing your support means respecting their need for space and celebrating the small steps they take towards connection, without pressure. Living with SPD in a world that celebrates extroversion can be incredibly isolating. It's important to remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, too. If you or someone you know is struggling with these symptoms, reaching out to a mental health professional is the first and most important step. They can provide a proper diagnosis and help create a tailored management plan. Remember, the goal isn't to change who you are fundamentally. It's about finding ways to live more comfortably and happily in your own skin, while navigating a world that might not always understand your unique way of being. It's about building a life that feels authentic to you, whether that involves more solitude or a few carefully chosen connections. If this video has been helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into mental health. Sharing this information can help break down stigma and foster greater understanding. Thank you for watching, and take care.